What is up, everybody? All right, today we're going to talk about real estate and why real estate is sexy for the bigger, better business Instagram Live. Now, I've heard many of people say recently that they're going to get their real estate license, that they're going to, join a brokerage firm, whether it's Keller Williams or whatever it may be. Why? Because real estate seems to be the sexy topic lately. And I say sexy because there's so many good benefits of real estate. And a lot of this information that we're going to hear today, you can take it from California to Texas to Florida to New York to Michigan to Washington, because we're going to talk to one of my favorite people in the real estate game, Mr. Ro Klines. I remember I met this guy when I was working at Enterprise. Actually, I met him and his wife, and they tried to prospect me and recruit me. And this one, I was just like a baby in PHP, and so I was learning how to prospect. And he like gave me his card. He was kind of like, "Hey, like, you ever thought about doing real estate and get your broker's license?" And I think I was gonna try to prospect him, but he got to me first, and I was like, you know what? I've thought about it. To right now isn't the best time because I'm already in the business where I'm prospecting and getting my license and doing different things. But I definitely will save your card. And because I saved his card, I was able to keep in contact with him. I was able to get information from him. I was able to learn how to prospect and other things, because the best thing about real estate and PHP is, we have a lot of similarities, when it comes to building an office and building a firm or building clientele and helping out families and things of that nature. And the best part about what we both do is they coincide. Like, when you buy a home, you better get some life insurance to cover that home, right? Because say you have a $500,000 mortgage and you want to make sure that if something happens to you and you pass away, if you're the husband or you're the wife, that your family can actually pay off that home through your life insurance plan. God forbid something happens to you, and vice versa. We might have clients who maybe get another job, or they get a raise, or they hit the lotto, and they're looking to not only protect their money through investing, but they also might want to purchase a new home. So guess what I'll do? I'll refer them to Ro. So it kind of works, together. But again, real estate is a good industry to be a part of. I know a lot of people that are licensed, that work for good firms, that flip homes, that show homes, and I know it's a good industry to be a part of. So we're gonna get them in here right now. We're gonna talk to them, take some notes, and let's enjoy this session. All right, we're gonna get them in here, get them going, and go from there. There he is. How you
We
doing, sir?
made it. We made it.
We made it. We did it. We start.
Finally.
I started over. We're good to go. How you feeling today, sir?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing fabulous. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's July 2nd. I'm ready to rock and roll for the rest of this year.
There you go. There you go. Finally got it. My first time live. We
Your
made
first time. Hey, I'm telling you, when you learn how to use this tool, it's just going to add to your business. It's going to add to your movement. And so learn how to use it quick. I'm telling you, you learn how this Instagram thing works, man, it takes your business, it takes everything to the next level. So you're welcome.
it. I got to keep young people like you around me. That'll help.
Hey, I'm here for it. I'm here, and I'll do it for free just to help you succeed. So I got you. So thank you for hopping on. I was just giving a quick introduction about how I met you when I met you at Enterprise. I met you and your wife when I was showing you guys the car, and it was funny because I was talking to the camera beforehand, and I was telling them, like, I was just starting in my company PHP now, doing the life insurance annuities and things like that, and I was learning how to prospect and get numbers. And you already tried to prospect me, and you gave me your card, and I was like, that's how it's done, right? But I was just so happy that it was a Black-owned real estate firm or a real estate company, and I was like, man, this is cool. You guys are down the street. Like, I might need to keep this guy's number because I'm gonna take some notes from him. And then sure enough, I saw you at the barber shop because we have the same barber, and I was like, yes, this is a sign from God that I need to keep in contact with this guy, because even though right now 99% of my focus is on PHP, I was just letting everybody know that a lot of what we do coincides with each other when it comes to prospecting, when it comes to building clientele, when it comes to, if somebody purchases a new home, the best next thing they can do is get life insurance. And if somebody gets life insurance, the best next thing they can do, if they have the money, go purchase a new home if they get a raise or a new job. And so I was just letting everybody know how sexy the industry is and how it's good to have good people around you to tell you about real estate. So I wanted to get you on here, ask you a couple of questions, and talk to the people, if that's okay with you.
Well, and it was fate, because when we met him at the car place, I said he's a born salesman, because if I believe, I might have got an upgrade plus insurance, everything that I normally don't get. And I'm like, you need to come into real estate. You a salesman.
And I've been hearing that a lot lately. It's like, you're a natural salesman. I was like, you know what? I gotta sell myself the dream every single day because one, I don't like working for other people, and I hated working at enterprise. Two, I understand the money that's in sales and the prosperity. And three, I love working for myself. And when I believe in something that I'm offering, I'm selling, like a Herbalife or life insurance or whatever, man, I can go all in. I can get excited. I can smile. I can be energetic about it. So I may be a salesman, but when you believe it, it's just a whole nother level.
And you probably don't remember, but what I say was faith between us, because my wife and him are huge ET fans, in which I am too, but they huge. And then we end up seeing you at the ET in San Diego.
The event in San Diego.
San Diego. And then at the barbershop. Then we say, okay,
yes, I forgot that I saw you. Yeah, so we did keep running into each other. So it definitely was fate. God is good for that. Cause I forgot. I drove down to San. I'm going to every ET event in California. So, man, great minds do think alike. I appreciate
that. They probably don't believe we go to the barbershop by the way we look right now from our COVID hairdos.
Yes, the COVID fro. I'm actually going to go see him tomorrow to get my cutty cut. So, but yes, yes, that's wonderful. And so just to start it off, I definitely want people to hear your story. I want you to just tell us about yourself, tell us about how you started in the industry, and we'll go from there. Okay.
Well, I started off with a kind of a well-known company, a Century 21 company, and so it was really good. They taught us how to survive, how to make $100,000 a year, and the goal was if you can make $100,000 a year in your first 4 year, you would never drop under $100,000. So it was great training at the company. And then 2-3 years into the company, they asked me if I wanted to help train new agents, that came aboard, because they probably brought aboard maybe about 30 agents a year with their real estate school. And so I started training, and that was like kind of pro and con, because I really found my passion. My passion was working with agents and helping them grow. And I really, really enjoy watching, agents grow. And so the downside was I started spending so much time with the agents that my production dropped, but, still was able to do enough to go in there. But selling real estate wasn't my passion. My passion was actually watching people grow. So I learned that. And I worked with, trained them for 10 years. Worked with 10 years, worked with a lot of agents who did very, very well. And then eventually, I wanted to open up my own real estate company. And that's what I ended up doing years later.
Got it. And the name of that company is Onyx, correct?
Onyx Realty and Financial Services.
There you go. And what helped you develop that name, Onyx? Where does that come from?
Well, Onyx is more actually from my wife. She really came up with the name. She, Onyx is one of the, black pearls that's still valuable today than what it was when it was, first found. And so with our company, we want to make sure that we're going to start with an independent company. And we know that it was going to be tough because you have to build the trust. To build the trust with real estate agents. So we want to make sure that we're going to be around forever, just like Onyx.
Good to go. And just go back a little bit. You talked about training. That's kind of one of my follow-up question is, what is training like? Like, where do you start? Because as I said, introducing this and posting on my page, I hear a lot of people say, when I prospect people, I would say 1 out of 5 people I talk to, they say, no, I'm not interested in doing this company because I'm working to get my real estate license. And that just seems like it's a very sexy and attractive industry to be in. So if you're somebody who's thinking about even getting started, where do you start? Like, what's the process of getting a license? Like, do you got to take a class? Like, you got to pay a service? Like, since you're big in training, like, what do you mean by training? Like, where do people start and how do people kind of go through the training? If you can break that down just a little bit.
Well, if you want to get your real estate license, it's a 12-week course that you have to go to, and you have to pass 3 open book tests. And our choice is practice, principal, and escrow. They open book tests, so it's not that difficult to pass. Right after you pass your 3rd test, you can apply for your state test. And so the state test is a little more difficult, but we would train you, the ways to pass the state test. And once you pass, it takes maybe about 6 weeks after your 12 weeks to be able to take your state test.
Mm-hmm.
And once you pass your state test, and then we bring you on, or you can go to any real estate company that you want to go to.
That's like a
So
good 4 to 5 months then.
it takes about 4 months, 4 to 5 months. And right now, because of COVID, they kind of backed up a little bit, so it can maybe take another 30 days, from that.
Got it. So after you pass that test, and you're saying you can go on to, you can work with because I understand your company does train people, but if you
Yes.
want to go to a
Yes.
different company, you have that option as well.
Mm-hmm. When I first started, what I did was I did a lot of cold calling, and which a lot of people don't like the cold call, but cold call is the best way to start because it allows you to hear so much rejection at one time. Because people over the phone will most definitely, tell you where to go to on the phone, and that's okay because it's proven in sales. Whoever gets the most rejection will become the most successful.
Really?
Because that means that they would talk to the most people. And
Yes.
so any agent that come through, I try to get them to at least do 300, at least 300 contacts. So you can hear the objections and know how to handle the objections and react to the rejections as well.
Really? And because I
Mm-hmm.
know there's a book that we read in PHP that we recommend all our new agents go for no. It's go
Mm-hmm.
pro and go for no. And
Mm-hmm.
I used to think that was crazy because I don't like rejection. Like I don't like being told no. So I know the hardest part for what we call prospecting is going up to somebody, completely random stranger working at the post office, and asking them like, hey, do you like what you do? Can you do this for another 10, 15 years? Do you see yourself open other opportunities? And then when they say no, you're just like, you don't even know what I do. No.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be very disheartening, but you just said something very valid. It's like the more no's you get, you pretty much said that those are the ones who are going to be successful agents because you're going to find that one gem. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a numbers game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a numbers game. And the product that we sell is a great product because we look at the history of real estate. As long as you can hold on to the property, you're going to profit. You're going to get equity. I believe everyone should own at least one piece of property, minimum one piece of property, minimum one piece of property. So I push you in a home for whatever you can afford because I know that in 10 years from that time, you will most definitely have equity. And at that time, you can upgrade. But we have to start somewhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And so my question is, when you're showing somebody a new home, how I guess let me rewind back. How soon after you get your license, after you get started with your company, like how soon can you be someone who's going out and showing people new homes? Is that something where you got to stay under a broker for a while, or do they just send you out to the wolves and let you do your thing?
Well, once you pass the test, you become a licensed realtor or real estate agent. Once you become a real estate agent, then you have to put your license under a broker.
Gotcha.
Because you need someone to kind of train and look over you, as a real estate agent. And so you come aboard, and then each company is different. With my company, with Onyx Realty, what we do is we start you with the basics so we can get you started, and you have to know what to say, what scripts we have to master the scripts. There's only 6-7 objections that you're going to hear. So we want to make sure that you're able to handle the objections when they come.
Absolutely.
But there's going to be rejection in our business. We don't know who's going to be good because sometimes people come in, they look great. We say, oh my God, this person's going to be very successful. And then they hear the rejection and they out the business. And it's a tough business, but it should be a tough business because what else can you do with, say, a high school diploma or GED, pass a test, and you can actually make more money than attorneys, doctors. I mean, a lot of professionals. You can be at the top. So it has to have rejection to be able to get to the top.
Absolutely. And again, I'm going to keep referring to this, but it's so many similarities with like even just being part of an Herbalife or being a part of a PHP, financial service doing industry. It's the same thing. Like I know people who don't have college degrees, who literally have high school diplomas, GEDs, or didn't even finish school, who are making 60, 70, 100, 150, $200,000 a month in our industry. And it's like, yeah, if it was for everybody, everybody can do it. And some people can't stomach it. Some people can't last. And I've seen it where people come in, they're on fire and they're recruiting and they're doing stuff. And then they get their first rejection or they have their first tough week and then they're out of there. So this is one of those things where you got to stay in it for the long run, whether you're selling homes or you're selling shakes and vitamins or you're offering financial services. It's one of those things where you got to hang in there. So I know it can be tough. You got something to say?
I would say that you have to believe in the process,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because a lot of people get a job because they feel that if they go to work on time, they take their breaks on time, they do overtime if it's offered for them. At the end of the week, bi-weekly or monthly, there's a check that's going to come.
Absolutely.
And real estate is you have to have that belief that as long as you meet a certain amount of people per day, per week, per month, that a check will come at the end of it, because we only commission based. We only get paid for exactly what we do.
Mm.
But you have to have the same belief. Without that belief, you won't make it in this industry.
And that was actually going to be my next question about what is it like being commission based? Because again, with some similarities to my company, some people are attracted to it, some people aren't. And that's just the joys of sales. Whether you sell cars, whether you sell knives, whether you sell, like I said, shakes and vitamins, whatever you're offering, sales can be very lucrative. But when people hear the word commission, it kind of like makes them cringe because it's not that guarantee. So, you know, what is a commission like? Like, what is the actual process from the moment you show a property to after it's done? Because again, I'm still learning the real estate language. I've never really dove into it. But then, you know, from the moment you start to the moment you get commission, how does that process usually go?
Well, at Onyx Realty, say like if I met you today and you interested in buying a home, what I want to do is I want to explain the process to you, because you need to understand the steps that we're going to take for you to become a homeowner. We need to get you qualified to see what program we're going to use that we can match you with. We have a lot of zero down programs still that we are able to use. And so we have the buyers responsible for the down payment and the closing costs. The down payment we have programs for, and also the seller can actually pay your closing costs, you know, as well with that. So we teach you what market we in, if we're in the seller market or we're in the buyer's market, how we have to approach, you know, to be able to go. Once we get you qualified, then we set you for a showing. Before COVID, I most definitely will always preview the homes beforehand, because I want to look at the homes to make sure it match what my clients are looking for. Because of COVID now, you know, it's almost by appointment only now. So now I'm not able to preview homes. So we kind of see the home for the first time, you know, at that time. We show you a home, you like the home, you like the home. So what we do is we write an offer on the home. And then the seller will respond back with what they call a counter offer with their response. If we accept that, and then we start the process of becoming a homeowner. I tell them, like, what we always do is a home inspection. The buyer's responsible to pay for a home inspection. I make all my clients pay for the home inspection. If they don't pay for it, I pay for it, because you need to find out exactly what you're getting into, you know, for a home. And I look for 4 steps. We want to make sure you have good roof, plumbing, electrical, and the foundation. That's the main. I don't believe in losing the house over carpet, paint, you know, or a $5 washer from Home Depot. But as long as, you know, the foundation, roof, plumbing, and electrical is in good condition, then that's a great house for you.
Got you. Okay. And then so after everything's done, it's closed, you sign the paperwork, then what usually happens as far as your end as a licensed agent?
Once it's closed, we make sure that the seller disclose everything about the property that they know about the property. So you know exactly as a buyer what you know, the home that you're getting into. And then once I mark, here go the keys to your home, congratulations, you're a homeowner, that's when the check comes. Now, a day before escrow close, you can say, you know what, Ro, I don't want to buy the house no more. And so we could have went through the whole process and the buyer changed their mind, and we get nothing for it at all. But that's why it's a numbers game. If you have one client, then you know, it will really bother you a little bit more. But if you have 2, 3 clients that you're working with at one time, it'll still be okay.
Absolutely. And that's with anything, you know, you might have that last day and somebody's like, oh, I don't know if I want to sign this. And they're just like, we went through all that underwriting, everything, medical. Trust me, I get that. I completely understand. But like you said, it's a numbers game. So how many clients do you work with, like I'm talking about on a good, busy, cracking week? You know, how many clients would you work with in like 1 week?
Now I don't really work with too much. I focus more on the real estate, on my real estate agents. you
Okay.
know, on there. I still have my past clients, so I still work with my past clients, and I still meet people as we go, but I don't focus too much on my growth. I try to focus on my agent's growth.
Yeah. So what about an agent who's active and you've training and all that stuff? What
Hmm.
would they show out? Like, how many people would they show out per week? Like, what's a good week as an agent?
You know what? If you can show one a week, I'm sorry, if you
Mm-hmm.
have one client that at least one client that you can show a week and get for 4 clients a month, you should at least be able to open up one escrow. If you can
Okay.
open up one escrow and close one escrow per month, you should be able to make $100,000.
Really? So you're saying
Mm-hmm.
one a month?
One a month
Minimum.
should be able to get you close, if not right there, $100,000 for the year. So it's anyone that has the fight can do it, and the
Exactly.
will, and the will.
So you're saying indirectly that, heck, if you get one a month, your commission is gonna be between $8,000 to $10,000 just for that one
Like that.
close, because
Mm-hmm.
10 times 12 is
Mm-hmm.
120,000. So you're saying in one check you can make that $10,000 just for closing one a month.
Yep, one a month. Yep, on the average.
Really
Now,
interesting.
with our company, we designed it for we pay 100% commission. Now, I
Mm-hmm.
love to interview people just like you interview a lot of people. And with real estate agents, one of the biggest reasons why they have a problem making it is because, if they do get a check once a month, and if their broker is taking so much of their money, it's kind of difficult to reinvest your money back into your business. And for
Mm-hmm.
every successful business, it's successful because you have to reinvest, back
Mm-hmm.
into your business. But with Onyx Realty, you are able to reinvest because you're getting 100% commission. So if
Mm-hmm.
it's a $10,000 check and you take home, $9,400, now with another company, you would take home maybe $6,000. That's a huge gap. So with Onyx, after every check, I sit down with my agents and we figure out how can we reinvest your money so that you can get another sale.
So you're saying
Makes it a little bit easier.
At Onyx, the broker doesn't take any money?
He takes a flat fee.
Oh, okay.
That flat fee was 100% commission. So we have different tiers. So we basically take a couple $100 out the check and we allow them to reinvest their money back into their business.
Interesting. But you're saying if you went to a different company, they would take more money.
They take more money. Each company is different. I never said nothing bad about a company because, each company has a system and it works. But I just couldn't realize for me, it was kind of tough where if I go out and find the client, go through the whole process, go through the rejection, handle the objections, learn how to master my scripts. When I get a check, why I just didn't agree with my broker getting just as much amount of money that I was getting at the same time, and
Yes.
I'm doing all the work. I didn't
Right.
understand that part. Now, at the beginning, when you're going through the training and the company spend a lot of time with you, I understand that part. But once you get it, it's like, oh, I'm not giving you half my check.
I understand. I understand. And it's kind of how I have to explain it with my company is, we have what we call an override. And so the way I explain it, I was like, look, if you go out there and you work and you make your money, I'm going to congratulate you. Like, you better go get your check. And
Yeah.
again, if I'm a broker, I'm just going to override maybe 10, 15, 20%, whatever it may be. But I don't want to take money out of your pocket because like you said, if you go out there and you work your butt off and you make $10,000, I don't want to take none of that money. But the joys about our company is we just override for training and teaching and helping them build their business. So I like that system better personally. So it sounds like what you're doing is similar where you're like, look, I don't want to take money from your pocket if you go work hard. So I can definitely respect that about your company. If you watch this video, anybody in the future, take note of that. You definitely want to be a part of a company like that to where they allow you to get your money rather than, a big chunk of it being taken out. And again, I don't speak negative about any of the
It's no
company,
negative. It's no negative.
whether it's life insurance or real estate, but it's like, I just like that idea that if I work hard, I want to get paid for my hard work. And at the same time, I do want to thank my teacher and my broker for everything they're doing for me. So I like that system. That's really good that you guys do that. I can respect that a lot. So my next question would be, how is it doing? What is it like being in business with your spouse? Your wife. Like, what is that?
No, wake up, go to work, go home. We see each other all day, right? No, it's great because we work hand in hand with each other. I take care of the real estate aspect of the business, and she's more the lending. So she's the one who gets you qualified, get you finance, and get the loan for you. So it works hand in hand. She works with a lot of different programs. You know, now with the programs, a lot of times the lenders don't get paid as much money as when you put down more money to get the loan. So, but she makes hers up in value, you know, by working with a lot. And we specialize with a lot of first-time home buyers.
Gotcha.
Because it's a difficult process. You know, people have fear. It's a 30-year commitment you commit into. Like you can get a car, and a car, you know, regardless if it's not a great car or lemon, you know, you still can get out of it and pay it off in a couple of years. But a house, that's a 30-year commitment.
Really?
But once again, it takes 30 years. It's usually a 30-year loan that you apply for. But however, with the car, if I buy a car today for this, let's say $50,000, how much would that car be worth in 10 years? And if I buy a house today, you know, for $500,000, what would that house be worth in 10 years?
Absolutely.
So always invest. You have to invest. You have to invest in real estate, because real estate is proven that you most definitely will. What do all successful people really have in the world in common? Real estate.
Real estate.
You know, some type of real estate that they deal with.
And that's why I was, you know, as I was starting the conversation, as you were getting on, I was like, it's such a sexy industry because there's so many benefits to it, especially just owning property, you know, being a homeowner and getting that dream home. And I heard that some people own between 2 to 3 homes in their entire life. So that's definitely a good note to take. Now, going back to what you said about lending and getting approved. Again, I don't know anything about real estate. I'm always a student of the game and I'm always learning. But I've always been curious, like, I don't know if I'm asking this right. What is like the lowest like credit score, or like what's like the absolute worst position you can be in to get a home? You know, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like I've had the highest credit score you can have when money was great, and then, you know, I experienced some fraud and some life happened and my credit score went boom, and then I had to get it back up. Shout out to PHP Credit Recovery Program and Student Loan Program. Holla at your boy. But like, what's the lowest you can have to like get a home? Like, I'm just curious, like, worst case scenario, if you walk in there today and you're just like, look, I got like a 520 and this, and this, can you still get approved? Like, what's the lowest level you could be at to get approved?
You know what? My wife more handled the loan. So, but I believe they should have something like maybe about 580, maybe 600. You should be able to get into. But it kind of fluctuates. So I don't want to say a number out and that number's not true. She's more, that's her profession, you know, side there. But regardless, though, if you was at a 520, if you was, you know, at in your 400s, what we do is we can sit down with you and we can explain to you exactly what you need to do and what's the time frame for you to be able to get your score to a certain point so that we can get you into a home. You know, our motto is, when we start with you, we with you for life. You know, for life. We don't care about how much you qualify for. If you qualify for 300,000, we'll show you what you can buy at 300,000. You know, because each client is over a lifetime, you know, you can get 10 referrals from that client, but you have to treat that client with respect, you know, spend time with the client. A lot of agents don't spend time. They look, do they qualify? No. Okay. Next. But what we do is, okay, you don't qualify, but you want to become a homeowner. Let us show you the steps and become a homeowner. And we had a lot of people that have came back, after it took them like maybe a year, some people 2 years. We had one that took 3 years to get their credit together and came back and purchased a home.
I like that. You said something very important. Again, that I appreciate about our industry is building relationships, because the first thing is when you invest in people and you actually serve them, that's when you get the big bucks. That's when it's lucrative, because when you serve others, that's when you get the most benefits. The second thing is your referrals. Like you say, you can get 10, 15, 20 referrals. I've experienced it where I've done a presentation with somebody. They got life insurance and they say, hey, I need you to talk to this person. I need you to talk to this person. And then that person refers. So that's something that you guys need to take away from this, is when you invest in people and build those relationships, you can get really good referrals. So I guarantee you, eventually you're going to want to stop cold calling people. Cold calling, you know, for a lot of people isn't fun, but when you start getting 10 to 15 referrals and you really start to get the train moving, man, that's a very beautiful thing. So I'm hoping you guys took note of that when it comes to keeping and building that relationship. I like that. Thank you for adding that. Couple more questions. I always like to ask people, just in your time as being a trainer or building a company, what would you say is one of the greatest moments of adversity for you? And it can be the whole COVID situation, but what was a moment of adversity where you were like, man, like this is tough. I had to get through this, and how you overcame?
You know what? I think the hardest part was starting off as an
Okay.
independent company, because, well, what do all of the big companies and Onyx have in common? And what the answer is, they all started off like Onyx,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had a great system, and then they grew. And
Mm-hmm.
so, but when you first start off and you're a small company, you have to build the trust with
Mm-hmm.
people, to be able to say, wow, I mean, I wonder if I can be successful here. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they look at the big name companies and they say, oh, I can be successful here because of the name of the company. But it's
Mm-hmm.
not about the name of the company, because there's very few brokers that actually work with their agents. They hire people, office managers, to work with them. They don't work with them. Here, my
Mm-hmm.
agents get hands-on. And my agents, they love Ro because they know that Ro cares about them, their growth. Spend quality time with them to make sure they grow. Now, time is very valuable because that's something in life we can never get back. When a second's
Mm-hmm.
gone, it's gone. But if you are a hard worker and you have the dedication and the will, I must definitely spend the time with you.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like kind of the toughest part. Now we have 47. We have 47 agents now,
Mm-hmm.
and we're growing. We are really growing right now, and people are now finding out that, man, they have great training there. The broker spends time with you, hands-on time
Mm-hmm.
with you. So now it's building up. It's finally building up. But when I first opened up the company, I knew it was going to take about 5-6 years to kind of really be able to kick off. To
Mm-hmm.
go.
And it's funny because you're saying so many similar things that we talk about in our company, and even the 5 to 6 years. Like they
Mm-hmm.
always say, once you commit to
Mm-hmm.
what you want to do in our company or any business, it takes about 5 to 6 years, to really reach your goals and dreams. Like to be a millionaire. And
Mm-hmm.
so like you gotta really commit. You gotta really stick to the plan and do everything you can to fulfill your goals, or to really reach that level that you want to reach. So a lot of people, they think, oh well, it's a get rich quick, and again, we're not just talking about real estate, we're talking about anything. They
Mm-hmm.
think it's a get rich quick, or I'm gonna make money now, but it's not like an hourly where you clock in at this time and you get paid this.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna take a
Yeah.
lot of sweat. It's gonna take a lot of sweat equity. It's gonna take a long nights, early mornings, a lot of reading, a lot of education to get to that point. So if you watch this video, whether it's in 2020, 2025, 2030, I want my kids to watch this video and understand that you're going to have to work hard, and you're going to have to take that first step like Ro did, and being independent and saying, I want to do it my way. How can I train my agents to do it their way? So I really like the fact that you said that and you made that very clear. I just want people to understand this is not something that you just become successful overnight. You got to put in the time. So
And also, I could have more agents than what I have, but I'm huge on culture. We have to have a great culture here. Onyx, we call ourselves Onyx Real Estate Family. And so if you don't have the right culture, if your ego's just a little bit too big for yourself, most definitely Onyx is not the place for you. And so I would rather grow slower and grow the correct way than grow fast and fall and have to rebuild again. So we want to make sure that we grow the correct way. We do interview before we bring an agent on. And we have a culture here where no matter when you come into the office, no matter if you're upset and you're frustrated because it is, but don't take it out on no one. Let's just get to the solution and figure out what we need to do to continue growth.
Amen to that. I love that. The culture and building a good positive culture. I love it because that's what we need. You don't want to just seem like another number, or just you're showing up to work. You want to have a good culture. You want to be able to show there because, you don't want to feel like just another job. That's kind of something I preach, in our industry. It's like, I don't want to be your boss. I want to help you grow. And you said that multiple times. You're going to
Yeah.
invest in people. So even if you start off slow and start off smaller, it's going to lead to something bigger because you're going to create a culture that's duplicatable. So I'm pretty sure that's what you want. You want something that's duplicatable that can expand all over the nation, not just in Long Beach. So I appreciate that. I respect it because you're located in Long Beach, correct?
Yes, Long Beach, Bixby Knolls area.
Okay, now is that where you're originally from, or you just
born and raised in Compton?
Compton? Oh man,
No.
It seems like the Compton kids are the most successful.
Born and raised in Compton. Yep.
Man, one of my good friends, Chris Hart, and that's one thing he always shares about his story is being born in Compton and not being able to wear certain colors and all that, and you know, high school diploma, college dropout. And I'm just like, man, this is like if you came from Compton, you did big things. You got the Williams sisters. You got a lot of people that came from Compton. So, but that's good that you're not only close to home, but you're building out here in the Southern California area. So I can respect that. Last question. Well, two more questions. Right now, I know a lot of people are looking at the market. It's something that I focus on is what the market is doing. The S&P 500 with the Dow Jones, and right now it's doing this, and then it's coming back up, and then it's kind of flat, and it's doing this. For the market for purchasing a home, what's the market like right now? Is it great? Is it kind of flat? Like, what can you say about the importance or the advantage of purchasing a home right now in 2020?
You know, it's a great market. I kind of felt that when COVID came, it might be less buyers, but actually it's still 3 to 4 buyers for every one home. It's still a seller's market with sellers still getting full price for their homes.
Really?
Yep, in this market. So it's still a great market. Still a great market. The whole key now is if you list the property, you just got to make sure that you list the property for the right price.
Got you.
You know, where a little bit before you can kind of list a little bit overpriced and maybe still get the, you know, your asking price for it. But now you just have to list the property right for the right price. Yeah. But it's a great time to buy. Anytime in this market, we have such a great product that it's always a great time to buy as long as you can afford the mortgage. You know, and 2008 was probably the worst. I think it was the worst economy since the Depression, somewhere around there. Now, in 2008, if you bought a house, let's say for $500,000, it might have dropped to $300,000 price, right? And then by 2012, 13, you had equity again. So, I mean, what else can you invest in besides real estate and go from in 8, 9, 10 years, you go from negative to super positive?
Absolutely.
You know? So you have to buy a home. Have to buy a home. And I'll tell you this real quick story.
It's fine.
Now, my mother, she grew up, my brother and I, we was single mothers. We had different fathers. My mother worked 2 jobs, but she purchased this home. And she had to work 2 jobs to pay this $100 a month, which seems like nothing, but that was quite a bit, you know, back 47, 48 years ago. And she struggled to pay that mortgage, but eventually, you know, the house ended up paid off. She retired when she was 55 years old. She never made great money. Her retirement right now is probably about $1,700 a month. But by purchasing that home and selling that home, purchasing that home and keeping that home with no mortgage, no car note, she was able to retire at 55 years old. She's 78 right now and still living the best life in the world. Now, just imagine if she wouldn't have purchased that home and she would have rented a home. You know, I'm sorry, would have rented a house or apartment. She would have never been able to retire because bringing home $1,700 a month. How can you retire when rent is probably $1,500?
Right.
You know, a month. So her best option was to purchase. Not only that, if she happened to pass away before my brother and I, she's able to leave us hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that's why I say everybody has to purchase a home. You have to. You have to, because there's nothing like real estate. There's nothing like real estate. You can actually go by and look at it. You know. So either way I go, I tell my clients, when my clients come in, the first thing we do, we go over how much are they paying for rent. And then we times it. If they're paying $2,000 a month, you know, the $24,000 a year, if you've been doing that for 10 years, how much money did you help somebody else pay their mortgage? Why not spend that money to pay your own?
Exactly.
You know, pay your own mortgage. So I always like to tell that story, and I always tell that story to all my clients. when they come in. That's why I most definitely will push you into a home.
Absolutely, and it's a great story because,
Mm-hmm.
again, it coincides with life insurance in a big way. It's like, yeah, you might buy it at 24, 25, and you're just like, I don't need this. I'm gonna live forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then if you get, index universal life policy that lasts you until 121, but then you reach 60, 70, 80 years old, and you got to take advantage of the living benefits, you're gonna be happy that you purchased that $400,000 life insurance policy that you can use, or the cash value that's been built up into it. Or I always tell people, you're never going to beat Father Time. So you pass away and you have $1 million life insurance policy, guess what? You pass that on to your kids, and you could pass that on to your kids' kids. It's something that you pass on. So owning a home is a long-term investment. It's something that you want to get as soon as you can, because like you said, from when your mom purchased it, from at her age, now she's 70 something years old, it's still part of her legacy. And so purchasing a home, I 100% agree, is something that you want to do. And I just want to ask something. If you get your license in California, does it transfer over to other states, or how does that work?
No, you have to take another test to be
Okay.
able to go to another state. You're going to another state.
Okay.
Like I can hire an agent or sell anything in California.
Mm-hmm.
In California. But if we go to another state, then for me to sell another state, I would have to get my license in another state. Apply to get my license in another state.
Okay, but you're just saying you have to take another test and then pay
Just
all
another
those fees?
test. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Another test, yeah, fees. It's not. It's and pay you whatever fees or whatever dues that the state requires.
Got you. Okay, because everybody they retire from Cali and they go to Texas, or they go to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So
Or
I already have
Arizona.
my Texas. I have my Texas license. I'm about to get my Florida license. I have a license in Georgia, Arizona. But it's like, that'd be very good to know if anybody watches this. It's like, all right, you have your California license. People are gonna move to Texas, and you might as well get your Texas license, because
there you go.
That's everybody's moving. The more properties you have, the better. So. That's really good. I like that. Okay. And my last question is, I always like to ask people this. It doesn't have to be a deep, in-depth answer, but I always ask people about the dash. And what that means is, from the moment you were born to the moment you pass away, there's always a little dash in the middle. And that means, what kind of life did you live, or what kind of life, or what kind of impact do you want to leave on the earth while you're here, Mr. Ro Klines? What kind of impact do you want to leave while you're here?
The day I die, I would want people to say Ro was a man with integrity, and lots of integrity. His word was his bond. He stood by his word, and he helped a lot of people become more successful, and not just money, because it's more to life than just money, but just in life in general. So I would say, if I had to put it down there, I would say that I most definitely would that would probably be it.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the strongest things a man can have, is integrity, and he keep his word. That's something I always tell my son, and I tell anybody I come in contact with. Have integrity, and just be nice to people, and just serve others. And it sounds like a man like yourself, that's really what you do all the time. Like I said, I've been able to call you and ask you questions. We've had conversations. I've asked you just anything that I can think of about building my business. I have so much respect for you and what you do. So,
and then real short, and I know you sell life insurance, and you know what? We really need to invest in life insurance. If you don't have life insurance, I think a lot of times, I'm gonna say, as far as like the Black race, we feel that if we get life insurance, we might jinx someone if they pass away, like we're responsible. But, I know you probably hear that quite a bit, but you know what? What's going to happen in life is going to happen in life, but you have to set yourself up, because that's how you can actually build wealth as well. You have other races that build wealth through life insurance, where if their wife die and they have $1 million, and just say if the wife died of cancer, now you can put something inside. You can start a foundation, in your wife's name or that person's name, and start a legacy. So make sure you get life insurance. There's no reason why in the world our race should be out so much washing cars, trying to help pay for a funeral, you know, or basically have to ask for money to go through that. I mean, you can take care of that yourself. And it's not even costly to the point where it's going to make you or break you. And I'm sure you know that because of the rates. So invest in life insurance. You know, just don't go another day and just don't say, well, I do it tomorrow, because tomorrow will always be tomorrow. And when that day comes, it will be there. So make sure you do invest in life insurance, I would say, because that's something we all need to do.
Absolutely. Well, you guys heard him say, I've been preaching it for so long. So when you guys watch this video, you heard him say it. This is the world famous Ro Klines. So if he says it, y'all gotta listen. You know what I'm saying? So he said it very clearly. Get life insurance, and you guys got your favorite life insurance. Like I said, I'm licensed in 5 states, about to be 10 in about the next couple of months. So you heard him say it. But thank you so much. Again, this was everything that I wanted and needed to be, because again, I don't have all the information on real estate. I hear all the time people want to get their license. I don't even know how the process goes, but I actually did learn a lot today about purchasing a home. I do plan to purchase my first home within the next 8 to 10 months. And I'm definitely going to reach out to you, because I definitely know the importance of having property and putting my son in a home and getting a home in his name. And so I definitely appreciate this. If you guys have any questions, what's your Instagram? Is it Onyx Realty Finances?
Onyx Long Beach.
Onyx Long Beach. Yeah, you guys Onyx check Long him Beach. Out. Reach out to him, message him. Again, he has a wealth of knowledge, and as you can see, he is here to serve others. He's here to serve you. And if you want to learn how to get your license, how to get trained, he'll help you do that as well. So thank you, Mr. Ro Klines. I greatly appreciate it. Now you know how to use Instagram Live, so use it to your advantage.
Hey, my first time, and I'm with Black Superman. What more can I ask
there
for, right?
it is. And the simple note, baby. I'm here to change the world. So thank you so much. It was great talking to you, and I'll talk to you soon. We'll do this again.
Okay, take care.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So there you guys have it. Great talk. It was a lot of information that I personally wanted to hear. He said a lot of good things about culture and prospecting and cold calling and talking to clients and purchasing. Is a lot that goes into it. And as I keep saying, it's a very good industry to be a part of when you're a licensed agent. So if you're thinking about being a licensed agent, make sure you reach out to Ro. Make sure you understand that he is here to serve you. I'm not saying anything negative about any other big companies. I know people that work for the big companies. I know people that serve under the big companies, and it's great. But if you want the one-on-one, the growth and the interactive, one-on-one interactive experience, man, make sure you reach out to Ro. So until then, hey, bigger, better business, MC Inspired, Black Superman, and I'm here to change the world. And you always know in everything you do, please, 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 in times like these, always lead with love. That is why the name of my personal movement is Agape, because the best definition that I heard is every day we have a choice. And that choice, when we see another individual that we can help and serve, and we choose to act on their behalf, that is Agape love. So choose to always help another individual, and God will bless you. 2020, baby, let's execute, let's grind, share this. I will talk to you guys later. Shout out to my boy Joe out in Australia. What's cracking, baby? And I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.